Hello. Buckle up for a fact rodeo. Some knowledge nuggets are going to blow your mind. Others might just make you the weird trivia champion at that next gathering. But hey, at least you'll be unforgettable. Nearly all the castles depicted in Monty Python and the Holy Grail were actually down castle, which was shot from different angles. The Portuguese man-o'-war isn't actually a jellyfish. It's a colonial organism called a siphonophore and is comprised of 4 specialized polyps, individual zooid organisms, that work together as one unit. Nearly 1/3 of the world's socks, about 8 billion pairs per year, are made in the district of Datang in Juji, China, also sometimes known as Sock City. Next time you decide you'd like to just stay in bed all day and call in sick from work, simply tell your boss you're suffering from clinomania, the excessive desire to stay in bed. The boa constrictor is a rare instance in the animal kingdom where the common name perfectly matches the scientific binomial name, boa constrictor. Killer whales are technically dolphins, but then dolphins are technically whales, so science is confusing sometimes. Here's the breakdown. Killer whales or orcas are the largest members of the dolphin family called Delphinidae. All dolphins are classified under cetaceans, which is a group that also includes whales. So killer whales are a specific type of dolphin, and all dolphins are a type of cetacean, but not all cetaceans are dolphins. Mangroves are halophytes, meaning they can tolerate high salinity levels. Many plants can't handle the salt and die. They can live in coastal areas, estuaries, and swamps with some special abilities. Some of these adaptations are salt glands or salt-excluding roots that help them filter out excess salt from the water they absorb from the soil, and aerial roots, pneumatophores, allowing the roots to obtain oxygen even in waterlogged soils. Cobalt is relatively rare in Earth's crust. Only about 25 parts per million, ppm, are present on average. To put that in perspective, imagine there's 1 gram of Earth material. In that gram, you'd only find a tiny amount of cobalt, just 0.0000025 grams. Vitamin B12 is an organometallic compound. It has a central cobalt atom bonded to a carbon atom within a complex molecule. This makes it essential for many biological processes in our bodies. It highlights the delicate balance in nature. Essential elements for life can be surprisingly rare, requiring efficient biological mechanisms to utilize them effectively. The molecular structure of cobalamin or vitamin B12 is closely related to hemoglobin and chlorophyll. Another amazing fact is that hemoglobin has iron as the central ion, while chlorophyll has magnesium as the central ion and cobalamin has a cobalt center, other than they are nearly the same with some different side chains. It's hypothesized that warm-bloodedness evolved in mammals and birds because it provided a defense against fungal infections. Very few fungi can survive the body temperatures of warm-blooded animals. By comparison, insects, reptiles, and amphibians are plagued by fungal infections. Bed bugs reproduce through a process called traumatic insemination. During this process, the male bed bug uses a sharp organ on its abdomen to pierce the female's abdomen and inject sperm into her body cavity. The sperm then travels through the female's body to fertilize her eggs. This is a relatively unusual way for insects to reproduce, but it is effective for bed bugs. Bed bugs are able to reproduce quickly and in large numbers, which is why they can be such a difficult pest to control. Hippopotamus comes from the Greek hippo, meaning horse, and potamos, meaning river, hence river horse. On a hippo's skin, hipposudoric acid and norhipposudoric acid function as inhibitors to the growth of microbes and also work as a mild sunscreen. Plankton are like the drifters of the ocean. They consist of various organisms, mostly microscopic, that cannot swim against currents and essentially drift with the water flow. They can be plant-like, phytoplankton, or animal-like, zooplankton. Nekton, on the other hand, are the active movers and shakers of the ocean. These organisms can propel themselves through the water independently of currents. It's a fancy term for ocean swimmers, so you can sound smart at your next party. Examples include fish, squid, whales, dolphins, turtles, and even some types of jellyfish. The act of an animal sleeping through the summer is called estivation, rather than the winter equivalent, hibernation. Examples include snails, lungfish, and some frogs. Sun bears have tongues that are up to 25 centimeters or 10 inches long that they use to eat insects. A marathon is exactly 26.2 miles or 42.195 kilometers because that happened to be the length of the 1908 London Olympic Marathon, and not because it is the distance between Marathon and Athens, which is approximately 25 miles or 40.2 kilometers. The letter J is the only letter to date not used in an atomic symbol for an element. The periodic table of elements contains 104 lowercase letters, but it contains 118 elements. Nomophobia is the term used to describe the fear of being without a working mobile phone or not having a cell phone signal. It comes from the combination of no, mobile, phone, and phobia. The country with the most tornadoes per square mile is not the United States, it's the United Kingdom. Although the U.S. has more tornadoes overall. Yellowstone National Park is home to over half of the world's geysers. The distance between the Sun and Earth is defined as an astronomical unit. An astronomical unit, AU, equates to roughly 93 million miles or 150 million kilometers. The sex of an alligator is based on the average temperature of the egg during incubation. In the extreme, temperatures over 93 degrees F or 33.8 degrees Celsius will produce only males, and below 86 degrees F or 30 degrees C only females. Temperatures in between these extremes might produce a mix of male and female hatchlings. It's called temperature-dependent sex determination. During WW2, some snakes and dangerous insects were euthanized in the London Zoo by the zookeepers in case they managed to escape after a bombing. Apple trees, roses, believe it or not, they're both part of the Rosaceae family. Gar, also known as Atractostea spatula, is a true living fossil, renowned for its incredibly slow molecular evolutionary rate, the slowest known among all vertebrates. Scientists hypothesize that this sluggish pace of evolution might stem from an unusually active DNA repair mechanism. By meticulously analyzing exons, the coding regions of DNA, across the evolutionary tree, researchers were able to estimate the rate at which different species have transformed over time. Their findings revealed that placental mammals, like humans, exhibited mutation rates of approximately 0.02 mutations per million years, while amphibians evolved at a much slower pace, with a rate of 0.007 mutations per million years. And what about Gars? Their rate was an astonishingly low 0.00009 mutations per million years per exon region. The faster you move, the heavier you get. This is a key principle of Einstein's theory of relativity. Unlike Earth and most other planets in our solar system, Venus rotates clockwise. The leading theory is it likely experienced a giant impact event early in its history, causing the planet to essentially flip over on its axis. This massive collision would have disrupted its original rotation and led to the current clockwise spin. The Pacific Ocean is so large that it contains more than half of the Earth's open water supply, and is larger than all of the Earth's land area combined. To this day, the tomb of Cleopatra and Mark Antony has not been found. Bam! That's all the mind-blowing facts I got for you today. If you enjoyed this trip through the Triviaverse, smash that like button and subscribe for more. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the weird side of awesome.